Are you a real estate agent looking to level up your game on YouTube, or maybe just looking to get into YouTube to get started? Well, in this video, I'm gonna give you the insider scoop on how I work with over 150 clients through my company Agent Launch at a very deep level on YouTube strategy. So in this video, we're gonna break down the 10 must-do steps if you wanna be successful in YouTube as a real estate agent today in 2022 and moving into 2023. I'm gonna give away some really big secrets in this video and break this down in a really easy to follow 10-step process of what you need to do exactly to get yourself started or to advance your YouTube game. One of the biggest problems I see with my clients is they're not following a structure. They're doing YouTube, they're doing video, but they don't have a proper structure to actually get people reaching out to them, commenting on their videos, liking their videos, subscribing to their channel, and building traction around their channel and actually deploying their videos correctly to make sure they're being used. So in this video, I'm gonna break all of that down for you in my slide deck here, the 10 steps to success with YouTube. So stay tuned for that. If you're new to the channel, make sure you are subscribed. And if you don't know me, my name is Eric B. Preston. I'm the founder and CEO of Agent Launch. You can go to agentlaunch.com/apply if you wanna apply and book an intro call to see if we can work together. Also, if you want my YouTube launch package, which is a guide on how to get started with YouTube, how to set up your channel, what equipment to buy, how to set up your default upload template, and all these little technical things that a lot of people I find hard, leave a comment below. I'll be sure to drop you a link to grab a copy of that. So leave a comment below for that, and let's get into this video without further ado. So the 10 steps to success on YouTube. Let's just dive right into it, guys. Step number 1 is find yourself some inspiration. This is one of the biggest pieces I think most people miss, is they're not actually very inspired to go make content, because especially in the early days of making content, you need to be inspired more than you will be later once you've already felt the success and the traction and the result of YouTube. My channel gets over 200 views per hour. So regardless of what I do throughout the day, my channel's working for me. That is called brand leverage. People are viewing my videos all the time, regardless of what I'm doing, and building trust with people on autopilot. That's the point I want you to get to, is to feel what that feels like. But in order to do that in the early days, because making videos is not easy, you need to get inspired. Now, this is one of the things most people don't talk about, is how do I stay or get inspired to actually put on my boots and start making YouTube content. So one thing you want to understand is research and duplicate, R&D. So find 2 channels that you aspire to be like. There's a lot of great examples out there. Just go searching in any given city. There's a lot of great examples today of people who are successful on YouTube as a real estate agent. So find a couple channels that you vibe with, that feel good to you, where you feel like you want to be kind of like them. Now, plan out about 10 videos based around their content. This is the easiest way for you to get inspired and give you something to work with. Find the videos that have been successful for them. Plan to make your own videos in your own market with that same context, okay? This is something a lot of people don't do very well, is find good people to follow. So I put some examples on the right-hand side here if you want to take a look at those, such as, breaking down the real estate contract, how to navigate multiple offers. Those are very technical videos you can create. Top 5 neighborhoods to live in your city, pros and cons of living in your city. These are the types of videos that will get you a lot of views, is the neighborhood specific or local knowledge area specific videos. Those are the types of videos that are going to get you the disproportionately large amount of views, but it's about making a combination of different types of content that'll resonate with your audience. So these are just some examples. Go out there and find your own. Use the keywords live, living, move, moving, real estate, housing. Use those types of keywords, but don't obsess over them. Make sure you're making content that you've seen other people be successful with. That's the biggest indicator that you're going to be making content that could resonate with your audience in your market, because it's already resonated with an audience in another market. So number 1 is inspiration, and don't expect anything for 6 months. This is one of the biggest things I teach people. How YouTube works is one day you're going to get one video that takes off. It's just going to get traction in the algorithm. People are going to start watching it. It's going to start showing up in their feeds. That video is then going to feed other videos on your channel if you do this right, by linking to them. People are going to go to your channel. They're going to look at more of your content if they enjoyed that video. And all it takes is one video on YouTube to really get your channel some traction. So keep going until you get that one video and that one video really hits and sticks. I've seen this with so many people, but don't expect anything for 6 months. The last point of these 10 points, I'm going to talk about something that's really near and dear to me, which is actually deployment. Instead of just relying on the algorithms, it's deploying your content. And I'm going to show you some really good ways on how to do that. Don't expect anything in the algorithm for 6 months, okay? That's number 1. Step 2 is branding. Now, this is a service we offer at our company, Agent Launch. These are a couple examples. Basically, you want to find your recommended or brand that resonates with you. Here's a couple examples of 2 different types of brands that will probably resonate with you. you. The first one is my favorite, which is something like living in Kona, Hawaii. So this is our client Todd, living in Kona, Hawaii. His website is livinginkona.com. Let's Google my business is Todd Barrett, living in Kona, Hawaii, Refocus Realty. That's one of my favorite types of brands to leverage. And a lot of the most successful YouTubers use this type of brand, is like living in so on and so forth. Like if you look up living in Dallas, Texas, or living in Toronto, Ontario, or living in Nashville, Tennessee, some of these bigger channels have that brand. So that's a really good one. The second one is a personal brand, which is another one of our clients here, Linnea. We did all the branding for both of them, but essentially Linnea is a bit different. She's taken the personal brand approach. Now she has a variety of reasons for that. She's, working on some coaching and some agent attraction, some other things like that. And that works for her as far as being under her own name, kind of like my channel is under my own name. In certain cases, a personal brand does make sense. So these are the two options you want to think about. YouTube is Linnea Carver, her website's LinneaCarver.com. Google my business is Linnea Carver-EXP Realty. Get clear on your brand and make sure it's cohesive and people can understand it. This is my suggested naming guideline. I will also say this, a lot of people regret using their personal brand later. They start with their personal brand because it's easy. They make it like Preston Realty or Eric Preston Realty or EP Realty or something like that. In the early days, my company was called EBP Media. Our website was ericbpreston.com. I grew to really hate that. Now we have a team of 17 at Agent Launch and we're all behind this brand Agent Launch and it feels really good. I grew to really not like the personal brand side of things so much. It became too much about me and not about the team and what we were trying to accomplish as a team, because the business is so much more than just me. And I think that's what I've experienced a lot of people and a lot of agents go through over time, is at first it makes sense to be a personal brand. And then when you want to grow a team, it's kind of hard to get people behind your own personal name brand. You want to create a brand that everyone can equally get behind, so they don't just feel it's all about you. If you do your personal brand and you want to grow a massive team and you have just your name, people down the road are always going to want to work with you, right? Because your brand is you. So you'll never be able to really step away from that. And in some cases, it makes sense to keep your personal brand. In some cases, it doesn't. So just really think that through. Once you have your branding dialed in, you have your channel banner, basic things like that. Don't obsess about this stuff. This is what I always say is like, very rarely do people actually make it to your channel. They usually see you in like the explore feed or somewhere else on YouTube. They search for content and you show up. They don't always make it to your channel. So your channel banner here is not worth obsessing over, okay? The third thing I want to talk about is equipment. This was the first best setup I had, but there's a couple of varieties of this. So the number one thing you need to pay attention to is audio quality, not so much video quality. Video quality, yes, it's important, but audio quality trumps it every single time. YouTube's come out and said this. If you think about it in your own experience, it's really hard to listen to a video that has shitty audio quality, right? But it's quite easy to watch a video in 720p. It's not that bad. It doesn't stress us out too much, but the audio is really, really important. So make sure you have a good microphone. Here's my suggested setup. This isn't the cheapest setup by any means, but if you do choose to use your phone, it can be. Here's a couple things I recommend. The GorillaPod 3K, that's what I'm using right now. The Sony ZV-1, fantastic camera. I had it for quite a while. I now have the Sony ZV-E10, which I'm filming on right now. Now, that's a slight upgrade from the ZV-1, gives me a little bit more features. That's just for me at my level. And then the Rode Video Micro is like a $60, $70 mic, pops on the top of your camera. It's a fantastic little microphone, very, very cheap. And if you want to attach this to your phone and use your phone instead of the Sony ZV-1, you can totally do that. A modern day smartphone will work perfectly fine for most of your purposes as far as video goes. So just know that. So if you want to have the cheapest setup, use your phone, a Rode Video Micro and a Joby GorillaPod. You're gonna have to get a cell phone adapter too to hold it. That can be your very simple setup. Like that's what I'm filming on right now, just in my apartment here in Mexico, filming on this camera with my mic. I don't have a Rode Video Micro anymore. I have a Rode Video Mic NTG, which is quite a bit more expensive than this one. That's just where I'm at in my journey. This setup worked for me for a very long time. So I would highly recommend something like this. Don't be afraid to use your phone. It's totally okay. Your phone will work really, really well. Note that for this microphone, you will need an adapter to go into your phone, and you will want to make sure, especially with Rode, well, most brands, that it has the gray tip to it. It's called a TRRS adapter. You need that to actually plug into your phone. So there's a couple technical things there to be aware of if you're going to use the phone route, but highly recommend doing something like that. So that's equipment. Get your basic setup. Next thing, backdrop and lighting. How do you think this video looks? This was an ad I filmed, pretty good backdrop, right? You can see that I'm standing in almost the same place as I was then. There's a couple things to keep this simple. Don't try and be a director of photography. Just accept that that's not you. Sit or stand in front of a window and have a very simple backdrop. If you have depth of field like I have now, you're gonna get this effect that you're viewing right now, which is there's gonna be a bit of a depth of field. It's gonna look pretty good like you can see in this photo, and that works really, really well. Obviously this looks pretty good. The lighting looks good. All I'm doing is sitting in front of a window. That's all I'm doing. I don't have any lights. So make it easy on yourself, sit in front of a window, have your natural light, have a decent depth of field, have a decent but simple simple backdrop. Don't make it too overly complicated. Don't use a fake backdrop with no depth. That doesn't look very good either. A good camera will give you this depth. Camera I'm using now, you can see the example right here. So keep it simple. Don't obsess over this. Get a simple backdrop. You do not need perfect conditions to make YouTube videos. That is not the recommended strategy here. You just need to start creating. Repetition over time is how you're going to get better. So set yourself up for success with these really simple things. Next thing is scripting. I've created a really good script here to keep things simple for you, but planned content is usually better than ad-lib content. Have proven scripts with big reach. Use bullet points only. Don't script every word. If you're going to script any part of your video, make it the hook, the introduction. The most important part of your video is the first 30 seconds. You need to hook people in and convince them to stay. The basic kind of hook in the video looks like this. What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to break down the 5 pros and 5 cons of living in Vancouver, BC. I have been living here for the last 15 years and I've been selling real estate here for the last 5. So I feel like I'm qualified to tell you all of the pros and all of the cons, some of my favorite and least favorite things about Vancouver. So in case you're wondering if you want to move here, if you want to live here, I'm going to give you an insider scoop and a really honest perspective of what it's actually like from a local who's helped so many people move here and seen what they like, what they don't like. So I'm going to break all of that down for you in this video. So make sure you stay tuned. What's up, everybody? It's Eric B. Preston here. I'm a licensed realtor in Vancouver, BC. As I said, I've been selling real estate here for the last 5 years. So if at any point in this video, you want to get in touch with me and pick my brain about the real estate market, you can drop a comment below, or you can click on my Calendly link down in the description. You can book a call with me directly. But without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, so that's just me ad-libbing a introduction based on all the coaching I do with our clients at Agent Launch around this. And so I can do this pretty off the top of my head, but at first you're gonna wanna kind of script that out and practice it, because that's the most important part of your videos. Have a really strong hook, then have a really strong call to action. Tell people how to get in contact with you, how to reach out to you, so that you actually do get people reaching out to you. One of the cardinal sins of YouTube is people don't have good call to actions. They make great videos, they get a lot of views, but people just aren't reaching out to them. So make sure you tell people how to get in touch with you. Make sure it feels organic and is coming from a place of helping and educating rather than selling. That's the biggest thing I can give you as far as advice. So have clear call to actions in the beginning, middle, and end. Depending on how long the video is, you may not need a middle one. Sometimes you may not even need a beginning one if the video is super short. You just want to get into the content. Viewer retention is one of the biggest things about how to get your videos to rank, is by keeping viewers around. So you need to make sure you're keeping viewers and not losing them in the beginning, because that's going to signal to the algorithm that your content just isn't hooking people in. It's not very interesting and people are not sticking around. So make sure you script out things, focus on your hook, your introduction. Your body and your ending are a little less important. As far as like how to get people to your videos and getting them to stay, scripting them out and having really good hooks and intros is super, super important. How do we actually film? Well, like I said, this is my setup here, everyone. Super simple. This is how I record a lot of my YouTube content. Yes, there are YouTubers out there who have big studios and lighting and all this stuff in the background. That's all cool and fine and dandy, whatever. Part of me does wish I lived a lifestyle that was pertinent to doing so, but I don't. And so you know what? You don't need perfect conditions to make content. Nobody does. It's totally a myth. And you think those people that have these perfect studios, like, yeah, they're YouTubers. They're going to have perfect studios. That's all cool, but you don't need that to make good content. You just need to be helpful and you need to come from a place of offering value. This is my setup right here. Literally, the Joby Gorilla Pod will fit over some object in your house that you can put it over so you can get your camera at the right height, which it is now. And then I have my nice Rode VideoMic NTG and my Sony ZV-E10, and this is how I film my videos, in front of a window, right? Looks pretty good. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. Another thing you're going to want to do is speak louder and faster than you think is normal. It's going to feel weird at first, but when you start presenting in front of a camera and then you watch yourself, I promise you, you're going to sound slower and quieter than you think. So you need to get into presentation mode. You need to bring yourself up. You need to talk faster, louder than you think is normal. It will come off as normal on camera. Another thing is, don't stop. Film in one shoot, redo your mistakes. If I make a mistake in a video, like, get it out, swear if you need to, let it go, and then just refilm it. Your editor will just cut it out and it will feel natural. Try to remember like where your hands are. So if you're saying something, you're like, I screwed that up, maybe I'll go back and then say it again. And your editor will edit it out and cut it so it feels natural. But don't send your editor 100 different clips of you. That makes it really hard for them. Make it one cohesive clip. They will edit out all the noise, all the parts that don't make sense, and they will make it flow. So just have one long clip and keep going with that, okay? So film in one shoot, redo your mistakes live. I've done videos, especially ads, where I like shoot something, I shoot it again, then I shoot it again, and I shoot it again. And I like the last one. I say, hey, Jorge, make sure you use that last piece out of those 4 or 5 shots, okay? So talk to your editor. That's the big thing. You can talk to them in the video, tell them what you want right here in the video. Make it easy on yourself. Step number 7, when the video is done, take a thumbnail photo. Think about your title and thumbnail combinations. What did I say before is make sure that you prioritize watch time, meaning once people get to your video, that they're staying and they're watching your video because it's interesting, that will signal really positive things to the algorithm and get your videos ranking. But the first thing you need to do before that is make sure people actually click on your video. And how do you do that? Well, it's a title and thumbnail game. Make sure your titles and thumbnails complement each other and they don't just repeat each other, okay? That's a really important tip I'll give you. So think about this, don't take it lightly. One of the biggest cardinal sins I see people make with YouTube is they don't think through their video titles and thumbnails enough. They just get lazy with it and that can kill your videos right away. So make sure they complement each other and not repeat. Here's a great example from living in Toronto, Ontario, Rochelle Manguino, from my good friend Shane's wife. She's done an amazing job in the last 9 months of growing her YouTube channel. And if you look at this, her video is don't move to Toronto, Ontario. So she uses the negative bias title, which is a good trick you can use because people are always more scared of the negative than they are interested in the positive. Her thumbnail says, I can't stand Toronto with a disappointed face, right? That is what I would say is a perfect title and thumbnail combination, okay? The other thing you can do is if your video is more technical, you can speak to like a result. So in my video, I said Google Ads for Realtors 2022, step-by-step full tutorial. And then I say close 3 to 6 Google Ads deals per month because we have several clients who do close 3 to 6 Google Ads deals per month. So that complements the title. Usually I wouldn't recommend having this many words on a title though. Usually I say 4 or less is a good rule for how many words you want to have on a thumbnail. Sorry. Another example here would be 5 things I wish I knew before living in Vancouver. And that thumbnail could say, if only. Like disappointed, like if only I knew, right? It complements each other and gets people to click. So make sure you prioritize and take these seriously. Next thing is editing. So once you've actually set up your space, you've scripted your video, you've filmed your video, you've made your thumbnail photo and title, you're gonna wanna get the edit, of course. So one thing that I would not do is try and self-edit because your edits are never gonna be as good as an editor, and just accept that that's never gonna be the case. One thing you can do is you can go on Fiverr or Upwork and you can try to find an editor, but one thing I would really recommend is find an editor with YouTube experience because you're not in a position to coach anyone on how to edit YouTube videos. So just accept that. Find someone with quite a bit of YouTube experience. Even if they charge more, it's gonna be worth it. Make sure you use an editor. Don't waste your time trying to edit your own videos. They're never gonna be that good. So just find an editor, pay them the $50, $100, $150 per video, whatever it works out to. Some cases it's gonna be more depending on where they're from or their experience level, but it's gonna be worth it to get your videos professionally edited. This is a service we offer with our package at Agent Launch. Just so you guys know, if any of you do wanna work with me personally on your YouTube strategy or anything like that, you can check out the link in the description, agentlaunch.com/apply. You can apply and book an intro call with us and we can see if there's a fit to work together. This is something we do in-house. The same guy, Jorge, who edits my videos, has a team of editors and they will actually edit your videos if you join our program to help you get to the end goal a lot faster. Not only that, we set up systems and advertising, and we help you hire and train remote talent. We do a whole bunch of stuff, but it's not all things I can get into in this video. So just book a call with us and we can talk you through it. We brought this service in-house because we realized it was a bottleneck for some of our clients is editing. A lot of people were trying to do it themselves or couldn't find a good editor. So we just brought the service in-house. Since then, a lot of our people on YouTube, our over 150 clients have actually gotten way faster results with YouTube because of the strength of the edit. So the edit can really make a big difference, and have your editor work on your thumbnails too. Like offload that stuff to someone else. You're not a graphic designer, you're not a video editor, you're a realtor. Don't try to be, because that's not gonna serve you. Make sure you're leveraging other people who are better at these things. That'll help you get to the end goal a lot faster. So let's keep going. Step number 9 is review. Once you get your editor editing your video, basically the framework I would use for this is use a Google Drive folder, upload your files, so your photo, your thumbnail photo, and your video file to a Google Drive, send that to your editor. Your editor will download that stuff, edit it, give them access to your YouTube channel. You can do this in the settings in YouTube, I'm not gonna get into it, but give them access to your YouTube channel. They will upload your video to YouTube unlisted, so nobody can see it, and they'll send you a link. You can review it. So watch the whole video in full, make a list of edits, of re-edits if they need to be done, but don't obsess over the little details. I find a lot of people will be like, oh, there's a tiny spelling error here, or like, can you change this little thing here, this little thing there, or that. Don't obsess over the details. That's just gonna stifle you. Nobody cares about the details. It's about the overall message. People are gonna forget all of this stuff. Don't worry about it, okay? One of the things we do with our YouTube content is we take the content and we repurpose it for social media. That's something we do within Agent Launch for our clients as well, as we create these social media videos so you can have both things firing and you can repurpose your content for social media. But don't get picky about the small things. I see this mistake all the time. It's about the big picture message. Just ignore the small things. If there's anything huge that's missing or needs to be re-edited, that's when you can let your editor know, hey, I need you to re-edit this, this, and this, and then we're good to go. But don't obsess over the details. Pick your battles in regards to re-edits and save something for next time. Just move on. It's unlikely in the early stages your videos are going to get hugely successful anyways. So make sure that you know that and say, hey, for next time, I'd like to see this, this, and this. But but maybe it doesn't make sense to go through a whole re-editing process in the early days. You're gonna have to do more back and forth in the early days with your editor, but like where I'm at with Jorge is like he edits my videos one time every time and they're usually good. It's rare that I have to do a re-edit. Even when we did our YouTube ad recently, there's only one small re-edit. So pick your battles. Last thing, everyone, and this is my favorite thing to talk about, is deployment. So this is something a lot of people don't speak about, but it's something that's really, really important, is make sure you're deploying your content correctly. So step 10.1, now there's 6 steps in here that I'm gonna go through. Step 10.1 is deploy via YouTube. You don't need a posting schedule. You don't need a calendar. You don't need to be perfect about this. Just add tags, but no, they're not important. They're not that important these days. They just tell YouTube a little bit about what the video is about. Add cards as necessary. Those are those little things that show up in the top of your video. I'll give you an example here that link to another video. So if you have other videos, you can link to them and you can point to them like that. Add an end screen with one video. So add an end screen to your video, point to it, speak to it if you can. You may screw that up in the beginning. It's okay. It's not a big deal. You can always say, make sure you check out my other videos here and point to one video. In this case, I might finish this video by saying, and if you're interested in Google Ads, make sure you check out this Google Ads tutorial right here and I'll guide you through the whole process. That's more of an advanced technique, but make sure you do that. Add chapters to your videos if you like, to chop up the different points of them if you want. Add a default upload template. I have this in the guide that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. Make sure you leave a comment if you want a copy of my YouTube launch package. I have an example of a good default upload template you can copy and paste from my channel in there. So leave a comment if you want a copy of that, but basically that's kind of your basic stuff to deploy via YouTube. You don't need a big schedule. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to put out valuable content using the framework I've given you in this video, okay? Next, deploy via social media. So cut up your YouTube videos and deploy them for social media. For this is a great example. Somewhere I made a video and then you chop it up for social media. And in some cases it can be really successful. Have that one YouTube channel as your pillar content, and then you can chop up that content for social media. Like my editor Jorge probably will chop up this video right here into 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10 micro videos for our social media. That will give us 2 weeks of social media content just from this one video I'm creating now. So use YouTube as your pillar, and then you can chop that stuff up for social media and you can create a bunch more content. Next is deploy via email. The first 24 hours of your YouTube video is really important to get as many views as you can. That's where the algorithm is gonna be testing and seeing how your video goes. So if you get more views and you get people staying and get quality views and long watch time, that's gonna signal to the algorithm your content is good, it's interesting, people are sticking around for it, and YouTube's gonna wanna show it to more people. Why? Because they make more ad money, right? Keeps people on the platform. That's their big goal. One of the best drip campaigns you can have for online leads or any leads in general is by making valuable videos, okay? So your best drip campaign, in my opinion, is actually sending people video. So keep the email short, use the youtube.com link. People trust it. So not the u.tube link that YouTube likes to shorten things into, u2.b or whatever. Use the youtube.com/c/the link. Like use the full link in the email because people will trust the youtube.com link over the weird link. They might think it's spam or something like that. So here's a good example on the right. Hey, have you gotten caught up with those about ISA? Blah, 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 and I send the full link. Done. Keep it really simple and short. People like plain text emails. They read them more. This is studied and statistically proven. So keep it simple. Next thing is deploy via text. So how cool is this? Hey, Jason, I noticed you searching for homes in Kona a lot lately. So I want to send you a quick video on some of the things that many buyers aren't aware of when buying in Kona. Let me know if this was helpful. Boom. Here's a cool video of things you might not know when buying a home in Hawaii, such as lava zones, something I learned from Todd that's a real thing. And that affects your insurance premiums, obviously. So these are cool things you can send people, right? Great for proactive outreach. Just send someone a helpful video over text. 10.5 is deploy on the phone. So this is great for objection handling. If you get on the phone with a prospect and they say, hey, I'm just browsing, I'm not ready to talk to an agent, you can say something like this. No problem. I understand you're likely very early in your process. We're just here to help and meet you where you're at. I noticed you're searching in Kona. Our team leader, Todd, actually just made a great video on his favorite neighborhoods to live in the area. Would sending that to you be helpful? They're gonna say, well, sure, right? Because they're trying to probably get you off the phone. So you're like, hey, can I offer you a helpful resource that you can watch on your own time? They're gonna be like, yeah, great. Is it all right if I text it to you? They'll probably be like, yeah, sure. So then you text it to them, it's on their phone, they can watch it when they're out and about and refer back to it. And after they watch that video, if it was a good video, you've probably built enough trust with them that they're gonna wanna engage with you and stick around a little bit more. So deploy over the phone, use it as an objection handler. And the bonus step here, add it to your drip campaigns. This is something we do for all of our clients at Agent Launch. We not only build their whole nurture program through Slack and through Follow Up Boss and these other systems where we actually build a proactive outreach campaign. We actually take the videos we help you create and we put them into your drip campaigns for you so that your videos are automatically going out to people when they sign up on your website, when they become a lead. So your videos are again working for you automatically in the background while you eat, while you sleep, while you go about your life. This is how you get brand leverage. You get these things working for you in your sleep. And so we actually put these videos in a strategic way into your drip campaigns so that they start working for you and building trust with your audience on autopilot. So that's all I got for you guys. today. So if you want to work with Agent Launch, again, you can go to agentlaunch.com/apply. If you want a copy of our YouTube launch package, be sure to leave a comment down below and we will be sure to get you a copy of that. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Be sure to subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all of the content I'm going to be producing. I am committing to 2 YouTube videos a week, so you're going to see a little bit more of me. But anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.